That's my secret. Wait.
This is the mynock deck, and for those of you who are following this project and have taken part in it, you know exactly what it's about. If you don't know what the mynock project is, here's a little bit of a rundown for it. Now, ever since we released the knock decks back in 2012, people have been always commenting and messaging me on their input on what they think that the new knock should be. It should be this color, it should be that color, and slowly it started to morph to more than just colors. See, we've built a brand behind this line of decks. The knock brand itself is known worldwide now. It's one of the top selling custom decks ever to be created, and we are bringing it into the future with this project. Last year, we started to give away stickers with every order on houseofplayingcards.com, and the stickers were a border of a deck, and you would put them on different surfaces in different places, and so many of you took that sticker, slapped it on a surface, put the hashtag mynock on it, and created your own knock. And what we've done is we've taken a look at all the submissions, the hashtags people sent through email, through DMs, and we've taken our favorite themes and the ones that come up most often, we've recreated them, designed them so they could fit a deck of cards, and we've produced them. The first mynock deck is finally going to be released. I'm very excited about this on October 18th. Sunday, October 18th is the first deck release of the mynock project. This is one that was submitted very frequently, very often. It is metal. So the first mynock is going to be, the 001 is going to be metal. And again, it's going to be available on House of Playing Cards on October 18th. Yo guys, what is going on? Alex Pandrea here. Welcome back to another exciting tutorial. In today's video, we're going to show you how to vanish a playing card. Now, there's many ways to vanish a playing card, but I think this is the most versatile because of the way that it is structured. Its simplicity and the applications used for this are pretty much endless. This is a fairly easy vanish to get down. We'll show you a few variations and how to perform them. So let's get into how to vanish a playing card. For this vanish, we are going to take a look at how do we take a card face up on the top of the deck and make it disappear. Now, we're going to concentrate on two ways of doing it. One is a more visual way of vanishing the card, where your hand kind of rubs across it and it vanishes. And then we're going to take a look at a non-visual way of doing it, where it looks like you're taking the card with your right hand and making it disappear, reminiscent of the rubber dub vanish that we talked about. If you want to learn that, I've taught it on my channel. You could click right there, or it is linked below if you want to learn that other vanish. But this I like because it has a visual aspect of having the card face up and doing the vanish. Now, there is a color change that is involved that you might know that we can use for this, okay? And that is the Erdnase color change. And a little quick rundown of the Erdnase color change. It is a very famous color change. It looks like this. You're pushing, the exposed view looks like this. You're pushing one card forward, and your hand comes and takes that second card, moves it back, and then moves it forward. So you're doing this, and then this, and then it's coming in front of that card, making the change, okay? So it looks like that, and then you're using the base of the right hand to pull that second card back until it clears, and then you're coming forward with it. Now, I never really liked this color change for a few reasons that not necessarily part of this video, but I just didn't like it because the card then has to be pushed back. You push it forward for no particular reason. There are motivations and ways to get around that, but it goes, I think it's a much better application for vanishing a card. So we're going to use that same technique to do this. So you're going to place the card from the top and out jog it just like this. And now what's going to happen is as you're going to wave over it with the hand, notice the hand positioning, the right hand base over here is going to come and contact that top card, which is now the top of the deck, which is the second card down if you're counting this card. And you're placing pressure with the right hand on here. And what you're simply going to do is just move this card back and move this card forward so that the top card is now covering or on top of that face up card. And then from here it's just a simple matter of pushing this card back, hiding it from view, and the card disappears. But of course it's under the guise of the hand coming over and making that happen. Okay, so that's the exposed view of the basic idea of this vanish. So you're here, you are rubbing, boom, 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 like this. And now as you come back, you're showing the card. You're doing this maybe a few times, one time. You don't want to go crazy with it. Just relax. So you're gonna come here, place the thumb, the base of the thumb going down the bottom portion of your whole palm on here. Move it back as you're still sort of rubbing here. Now, one thing that I want you to keep in mind is don't just go straight back and then straight forward. That's not what we're trying to do with this. We're trying to mimic this action. Okay, that's the action. You want to be as elegant as possible and as soft as possible, and you don't want this motion. Okay, this, bad, this, good. At least in my opinion, and visually I think it's a little bit more interesting. So you're going to come here, do this once, and as you come back a second time, put pressure. And because we're doing it sort of and we're coming off to the side, you want more pressure right here on the thumb instead of in both places. All right, and you're going to put pressure around this part of it, which is sort of near your left thumb. So you're coming here, and you're continuously doing this in a counterclockwise motion with the hand. If you need to clear this card, you could use the pinky of the left hand to sort of prop this card up and push it off. All right, so if you need to, you're coming here, moving it. Now notice it's not cleared yet. If I take my hand away, it is not cleared from the card yet, and this is where I'm going to use my pinky to sort of push it out so that the card clears with the pressure of the pinky. All right, card clears up on top, boom. You want to just be aware of this. All right, you don't want that to happen. But once this gets cleared over here, now you can come back and continue the counterclockwise little swirls with the right hand on top. And as you do so, you are going to let go of the pressure from the right hand, placing this card on top like this, but also continue going forward and continuing this motion. This is very important. Why is this important? Because you want consistency in the vanish, right? You don't want to do this and then do that, right? And I've seen it done, and it looks really bad, and it looks obvious. Exactly what you were probably doing is what's happening. So this is in the spectator's mind. All right, so to make it visually appealing, as you come here, you want to let go as you're going forward. All right, so at this point, the card, as I'm covering the queen that is face up, the card is let go and it's not on my right hand anymore. And now I'm just coming forward. Now here's the important thing. You want to come forward just enough, all right, so that the card is not seen, but also to cover this. You see my left first finger? It does this, and sometimes you would see this, boom, right? And then you would start seeing that if you're not doing it correct. So you want to be as far forward as possible, all right, without over exaggerating it, but also to keep in mind that you might want to just tilt down just a little bit, so that you cover this action. Okay, from here you can come here and start pushing in, and you want to do it slowly. And now the most important thing, I think, after this is done is you want your first finger to come back out. All right, this is another thing to keep in mind, that once your first finger comes back out, you don't want it to come back out like this and flash. All right, so as long as you know that about the first finger, you can start practicing this. I would suggest that once you come here and you place this card on top, okay, you want to just look at yourself in the mirror, figure out the angle, maybe record yourself to see exactly when that first finger should come out and start pushing that card forward, or rather back into the deck. As this happens, you can move back slowly, continuing this action. You don't want this action to stop and start and stop and start. You want it smooth the whole way around, the whole way through the vanish to keep it consistent, okay? And now as you come here, that card would vanish, and now you want to be, sort of open with the hands and then lead into whatever else that you want to do, okay? You can spread at this point, make sure not to just spread here, but that is the idea of the vanish. Now, another thing that I want you to keep in mind when doing this is how much of this card, the top card, is seen on the back end. Because if you were to do this, notice how this edge might be seen, right? But then when this card is on top, it's not seen. You want to take this into consideration, but also can be used to your advantage to make a slow change. All right, so if you're here and you've done this already, you can come here and then start to vanish the card by coming forward and just blocking this part, and then coming back, and it looks like it's appearing, not to go too far back, just a little bit, and then here to make it vanish. It looks like it's vanishing, it looks like it's appearing, it looks like it's vanishing, boom. It looks like it's appearing, boom. All right, just be careful with these two points. All right, so from here it could look really nice that it comes here and then you have this slow vanish of everything. All right, from here you could go into different variations on the vanish. So if you're here and you come here, you can also use the fingers of the left hand to open up your fingers of the right hand and push this card back into the palm. Now what this does is that it makes it very open and very clean when you're coming to do the vanish, and you've done already that first step, but now with an open palm, and just be careful not to flash in between the fingers. Okay, so just as you keep it here, you can do this and still get this on top. And now with open fingers, it's nice because you could just close them just for a little bit and then open them back up, which is really, really nice. Make sure to push that in all the way. You see right here, I did not push it in all the way. And that is not good, my friends. That is not good, because then you're like, all right, well. And then what are you going to do? What are you going to do at that point? So just keep that in mind. Also work on how far this is forward, how far this is pushed back. When you do this, obviously it's easier to push this really forward so you could get just a quick steal of that card, but then it's going to be harder to push it back. You see, now I can't reach. All right, so you want to make sure you know exactly how far, when you first take this card, place it here, how far it should be out jogged. All right, so another thing to keep in mind. So now, of course, we can go and take it a step further, do the exact same thing, come around, and now it's going to look like I'm just picking up the card and moving it here. But what's going to happen is you're just going to come here, place, instead of this going on top, you're going to come around and on top of the card, squared up with this card, square it up at this point, and as you square up, it's going to look like you're taking it. So you're using this action of curling the fingers for two reasons. You are doing that so you could square up the cards, but also doing that so you could create the illusion of taking that card and moving it to the table, moving it somewhere else, and making it vanish from there. All right, so that is another way of doing it. You're here, you're here. You can do this if you want. You could come here, grab the cards, square up, so you're just placing it on top, boom, and as you lift up a little bit, you're still covering, and this pushes both cards back, and now you move this. You want to move your hand away just a little bit first, and then come very slowly down with the deck if you want to do that illusion as if you're taking the card, all right? Now you can get a little bit more creative. Now that you know just the basic simple idea, all right? You can do things where you are taking the card, let's say you're showing the one card, getting a break under the top card, showing both cards. Now instead of doing that Erdnase Vanish, you're just coming up here and placing this into a palm, right? The bottom card into a full palm, if you know this technique, as you place this card down on the top of the deck. So you could come here and then right away do that to come grab it, or come here and then do the Vanish as we talked about the first time. So you can start becoming a little bit more creative with it, right? You don't have to go from here, you can do it off the bottom of the deck. So if you want to go off the bottom of the deck and do a palm like that, of course you can do that. Not really, I think it doesn't make sense necessarily for this sort of motion, but of course I'm just giving you examples, and I want you to think outside the box of other ways that you can do this Vanish as well. If we want to get a little bit more fancy, what you can do is get this card into a lateral palm, and through a lateral palm so instead of it being a full palm, this is just another way to get the card. Again, picking up the 2, showing the 1, swiveling this around, getting this in a lateral palm, and now you're going to come here, and as you're going to come here, you're going to just kind of let go, and now it's just on the deck as if it were, if the hand was here, but the hand is just here. So you're just letting go at this point, and now at the same exact you're doing the same exact motion, but you're just getting rid of the card from the palm. You're placing the card on top in a different way, okay? So that would just look like, I'll show you really quickly here. So you're here, 2 cards, swirl this around, place this on top, maybe use your thumb if you need to. And then there, okay? So that is the Vanish. Again, this is something that should be done with an elegant, slow, it's very visual if you do it right, so you don't want to rush it. And as long as you know that, you could play around with the variations and enjoy that nice visual of making a card disappear. Now, one thing to keep in mind is after we vanish this playing card, what do we do from there? Do we make it reappear? Do we make it reappear somewhere else, or inside of the deck, or change, switch it for another card? What is the routine that you're going to go into, or how does this fit in? This is an important part of your magic, not just in this tutorial, but in anything that you learn. Think of how it fits in to what you're performing, and you'll have a much better time in understanding its place and where it fits. I think this is something that we neglect a lot of the times when we perform, not only perform, but practice our magic. We practice just the sleight itself, but we don't take into account the things that are involved in, what do we do before? What do we do after? All of that is important. So if you're the type of performer and magician out there that wants to think of your magic at a higher level and something more than just let's learn this effect, let's learn this trick, and that's it. If you want to take it to the next level, well, you are in luck. The time is right now to sign up for my online lecture. It's called The Gypsy. Link is down below, alexpandrea.com. It starts October 25th, and we're doing pre-sale right now. So get your tickets if you want to join me for a 4-hour live lecture event. Alright guys, thank you so much for sticking around and learning this with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell because there's a lot still to come on this channel and a lot of interesting things you're not going to want to miss. So thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing day. Love you guys, and we will see you very shortly. Peace.